Piggybacking off where we stopped in part 1, this is part 2 of the Trump administration and what you can do to be able to secure yourself a green card in 2025 in the United States. This video is going to specifically talk about the Eb-1 and the Eb-2 visa and also explain a case study on the type of nurses that can apply for this visa. The Eb-1 and Eb-2 visa, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, these are employment-based immigrant visa that allows foreign professionals to work and reside in the United States, just like the Eb-3 visa. The difference is the Eb-3 visa, you need an employer to file that for you, while the Eb-1 and Eb-2 visa, you can file it by yourselves, literally. Nurses, doctors, lab technicians, pharmacists, healthcare workers, you can file for this visa by yourself. The tech guys are already taking advantage of this. The content creators are already taking advantage of this. You are more needed. I mean, you're very needed. You can take advantage of this visa. For nurses, the eligibility depends on your qualification, your achievement, and the nature of your professional contribution. So this case study I'm going to explain will actually explain the kind of nurses that can qualify for each of these category. Starting off with the Eb-1 visa. So this one is reserved for individuals with extraordinary abilities. Hold on. I know, don't run away from this video yet saying you don't have extraordinary abilities. Just listen through the end and you can actually see that you have something in you. Okay. Now, these are also for outstanding professors. Still hold on. I know you have only a bachelor's degree, but just hold on. And researchers or multinational executives. So for a nurse to qualify, they must demonstrate exceptional achievements that place them in the top tier of their field. Examples of nurses that are eligible for this Eb-1 visa. So we mentioned the nurse researchers. So basically, if you've published a groundbreaking research in a peer-reviewed journal, if you have a journal, if you have a research, your nursing project, if it was published as a journal online, you have one of the criteria. Or if you have presented findings at an international conferences. Those of you that attend conferences, that are on the board of one organization or the other, this is your time to shine. Or if you've made significant contributions to nursing science, such as developing innovative care techniques or influencing healthcare policy. Number 2, nurse executives. So examples of these people would be high-held level leadership positions in internationally recognized healthcare institutions. So this can be like you've done something with like the United Nations, World Health Organization, UNICEF, or stuff like that. Also, if you've led programs that transformed patient care quality or operational efficiency, those that have NGOs that have actually made an impact in your community, and if you have documented your process online, anyone that's telling you not to post your content online or not to have anything documented online is lying to you, because see instances where this will come in handy. Number 3 is recognized leaders in the field. So if you've received prestigious awards, oh my gosh, if you received an award, you can actually qualify for this visa. For example, Florence Nightingale Medal and so many other awards that are out there that are globally recognized. Also, if you have a membership in an exclusive professional organization that requires significant achievements, for example, the Sigma Theta Tau International. The Sigma Theta Tau International. I don't know if I pronounced it well, but I'm literally a part of that organization. Basically, these are for honor students. If you graduated with a 3.5, or I think a 3.8 to a 4.0 GPA from your school, then you qualify to be part of this organization. So for those that are coming in with the F1 visa as students, you can see how you can actually make it work. So make sure you're doing good in your grade and you'll be able to make this work for yourself. Some key evidences that they need for the Eb-1 visa. I know it might be more than this. You might need to speak to a professional before applying for this visa, but this video is just to give you an overview on what to expect and to tell you that you might actually qualify for this visa that you can apply by yourself. So number 1, you have to have some awards and accolades, and you have to have media coverage of events. Again, social media coverage. Oh my god, media coverage. It doesn't even have to be social media, just media coverage of achievements. So letters of recommendations from your peers or industry leaders. If you are a good person and if you know how to network properly, this shouldn't be hard for you to come by. Your DON of your organization can give this to you. Documentation of contributions that have impacted the nursing profession at a national or international level. Now, this can be your publications, this can be your journal articles, and stuff like that. Moving on to the Eb-2 visa eligibility for nurses. Now, this Eb-2 visa is designed for individuals with advanced degree. Now, this is where my master's degree holders and PhD degree holders come in, or if you also have exceptional abilities. Now, most nurses pursuing this visa fall under the advanced degree or exceptional ability subcategory. Examples of nurses that will be eligible for this Eb-2 visa would be advanced degree nurses. So this would be nurses that hold a master's degree or higher. For example, those of you that are coming here for your master's or nurse practitioner, clinical nurse specialist, nurse educator, you qualify to apply for this visa by yourself. This is a green card, guys. Number 2, if you work in roles that are requiring advanced education, such as nurse anesthetics. So this is also like the nurse practice, it's basically the same thing. Now, also, specialty nurses with exceptional abilities can qualify for this visa. So if you don't have an advanced degree, so you don't have a master's, so you don't have a PhD, oh, I just have a bachelor's degree. My love, what unit do you work? Literally, expertise in nursing specialty, for example, oncology, pediatrics, critical care can apply for this visa. And or if you have at least 10 years of progressive experience in that field. So if you've worked in a specialty field for about 10 years, you are qualified for this visa. So take what I'm saying as a general idea based on my research, but you still need to speak to a professional about this and make your own research. Another set of nurses that can qualify for the Eb-2 visa would be nurses in underserved areas. If you have a job offer in a rural area or medically underserved area, then you can apply for this visa. And I'll also put more information about what I'm saying and websites you can get more information on in the description box so you can make your own research. So don't just watch the video and go and sleep. Take action immediately. Make research. Now that these visas are becoming more popular, more people are going to be applying for it. And I just made a video about it. You don't know how many people are going to watch this. So take action if you have the opportunity to, and apply for this visa without wasting more time. Also, nurses can benefit from the national interest waiver due to their role's critical importance. So if you're able to show how your role is critically important, and the US government have to give you a green card or else something will happen in this role, then feel free to apply for this visa. For you to be able to successfully apply and get this visa, this green card through this visa, you need to be able to make a good petition, a good application. And making a good application will mean making a lot of research to know what they're requiring from you, submitting the application with enough evidence. Now, you can either write the application by yourself or contact an expert to write it with you, or contact a lawyer to write it with you. These are the 3 ways you can get this application going, but basically it is self-applied, meaning you do not need an employer or somebody to apply it for you. Some key evidences that the Eb-2 applicants need to present would be academic transcripts and degree certifications. You have your transcripts, you have your degree certification, letters from employers or supervisors verifying advanced skills or specialized experience. Also, evidence of licensure and certifications in your nursing specialty might be required. Of course, this will be required because you're trying to prove that your specialty role is very needed. They'll definitely need license and maybe certifications in that role and how you've advanced over the past 10 years. There will be proof of employment in a role benefiting the US healthcare system, particularly in underserved regions. Oh, I think this has answered my question already. You need to be in the United States to apply for this part if you're giving this proof of evidence why you need the green card. So let's do a brief comparison side by side for the Eb-1 and the Eb-2 visa. Now, the Eb-1 visa requires no formal education requirements if extraordinary achievements are key. If you're advertising your extraordinary achievements, say you have journals, say you're a nurse executive, you're a recognized leader in your fields, you hold position in the board in United Nations, you have a good profile, you may not need an advanced degree for the EB1, while the EB2 you need an advanced degree or a master's degree is required. Also, the EB1 is extraordinary, the top 1% of your field, while the EB2 is for advanced skill or education. The EB1 employer is not required, so self petition is very possible, which is what I mentioned. But the EB2 visa, it's generally required unless under the NIW. And the NIW is what I said is the national interest waiver that you can apply for yourself based off your role's expertise. If you're applying the EB2 visa based on your role expertise and how important your role is to the United States government, then you don't need a US employer. But if you're applying the EB2 visa based off your master's degree and your specialty, you probably just need to show that you're working. And I believe every average nurse in the United States has a job. Depending on the kind of visa that you're holding, you're able to get a job if you have a work permit before you apply for this visa. So also for the EB1, the processing time is faster due to priority category. So the EB1 is faster because it's the top 1% of your field, advanced degree and stuff like that, while the EB2 is longer depending on demand. Longer can be 1 year, 2 year, but it's still not as long as the EB3 visa, guys. It's not as long as the EB3 visa, and they all lead to the same thing. So another thing is you might spend more money doing the EB1, EB2 visa because you are mostly self-petitioning or paying for these things yourself, paying for the lawyer and all that. But for the EB3, because it's employer sponsored, you necessarily might not even know how much your employer is contributing to that, and you would most likely sign a self-binding agreement with your employer for them to bring you to the United States and then work for them for 2 to 3 years, or you have to pay them a certain amount of money. In conclusion, again, the EB1 visa is ideal for nurses, researchers, executives, and nurses who can explain and represent that they have extraordinary achievements and accomplishments in a national or international level. While the EB2 visa is mostly for advanced degree holders, nurses, or nurses who have specialized skills, or those who work in really critical shortage areas. I hope you're able to understand the differences. Like I said, prospective applicants should please make more research and seek with an expert on this subject matter or an immigration lawyer. So one question that I think might be burning in your hearts, as it was in mine while I was making this research, is can I apply for this visa outside of the United States? Because I feel like how I started the topic, I started with people who are already here, probably as students or with the H1B visa, or people who are already here and are trying to get a green card. But you can actually apply this visa from outside the United States. For those who are already here, good for you, because you can apply for this visa from here. Amazing. Now for those who are out of the United States, yes, you can apply for this visa from outside the United States. So like I said, the EB1 visa allows you to self-petition, meaning to apply by yourself, meaning you do not or may not need an immigration lawyer. While the EB2 visa, you may need an employment to show proof of employment based off the advanced degree part. But if you fall under the EB2 NIW category, which I mentioned, the national interest waiver for nurses who can prove that they work in underserved critical shortage areas, can benefit from the NIW. So basically, you'd see it as EB1 visa and EB2 NIW can self-petition, because you need to meet various categories, like I said, of the EB2 visa. So if you meet that category where you're working in an underserved area, you can qualify for the NIW, meaning you can apply by yourself. So hearing this for the first time might be a bit overwhelming. That's why I keep emphasizing making more research based off what you've heard. By the time you're reading this over an article or over the website, it would make more sense. You begin to hear my voice, and the things that I'm saying will begin to make more sense to you. You can apply for this, like I said, from outside the United States. The only thing is the processing time might vary based off the country you're applying from. So if your counterpart in the United States here applied for this visa and told you, oh, I heard back from them in 15 days, or I heard back from them in 1 month, that might not be the case for you outside the country. I'm not sure. The processing time might vary based on country to country. And yes, I mean, after application is submitted, I've heard someone got their green card in 3 months. I've heard someone got their green card in 1 month. I've heard someone got their approval in 15 days when paid for priority. So yes, it can be that fast, and that is for the EB1 visa. The EB2 visa can take up to a year, but that is not as close to how slow the EB3 visa currently is and how slow it might get due to the Trump administration. So hopefully things change and Trump is able to, make this pathway easier, or maybe employ more people to reduce the retrogression and reduce the outbound. But for now, information is power and we can take advantage of it as much as we can. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. I hope I've been able to explain this other categories of visa that you can qualify and apply for to the best of my knowledge and my ability. And I hope that you're able to take advantage of this. If you know anyone that will be interested in this or are in the United States and are having these issues with, getting a green card to stay, please send this video to them. It will be very, 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 very helpful. And do well to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and also make contributions in the comment section on videos you want me to make. Like I said, I've come into 2025 with a force. So we are going stronger. I'm going to keep making videos like this for you guys. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.